President Rodrigo Duterte is the first Mindanaoan president. Do you think he has fulfilled his promise to the people of Mindanao?
For Mindanao, he did say that for his national agenda, drugs and criminality, acknowledge naman natin na talagang problema yon. Even in Mindanao, na malaking bulk of our problem is peace and order in Mindanao, and it relates to drugs as well sa amin sa parts of Muslim Mindanao. But for human life, at the expense of human life, I would say that it would be one of the things that I would really be concerned and express utmost reservation. The preservation of human life, we would have really failed in that aspect. So for Mindanao, where the peace movements have been very, very strong for almost 40 years, we've been part of that. And even in Davao, ang lakas-lakas ng peace movement dyan with all-out peace movements, na national solidarity movements. I would say that this administration has to recommit to the fundamental precepts of what Mindanao stands for, which is interfaith, solidarity, and peace. Very important po yan. You cannot escape from faith, from respecting human life.
Okay. About a year ago, I remember I was covering at the House of Representatives nung nagkaroon po ng joint session with regard to extending martial law. And it was an emotional plea that you made. You were telling the lawmakers, wag nang i-extend, hindi kailangan ng martial law. And you had exposed human rights violations and abuses in Mindanao. And you are still against the extension of martial law. The government wants to extend it again for a third time. But there are groups, even people in Marawi, who actually support martial law and even want to extend it. You know, some lawmakers were even telling that you are a lone wolf in the wilderness. Now, ma'am, for the sake of those who don't know, for the sake of those who are not in Marawi, who are not in Mindanao, how in touch are you with the realities on the ground? What is really happening there that makes you convinced that martial law is not the answer to solve peace in the region?
Sure, Mara. Peace movements are grassroots. Definitely, we work with the church. We work with grassroots leaders and movements of masses across Mindanao. And therefore, kung sasabihin natin the survey would say yes, Esperon Secretary would actually say majority, I say, where is that data coming from? Did you actually ask every man on the street? And as LGUs, tayong mga mayors, are we giving up power? As congressmen, are we giving up power to suppress rebellion within our communities? Nasa atin yun eh. Nasa ating karapatan. The will to walk the streets and stop criminals, talk to emissaries or liaison people who can stop terrorism, stop the kids who are thinking this way. Importante yun. You don't give up power because that's what martial law says. You're giving it up for national implementation. And therefore, nakita natin after 17 months of Marawi that there's still not food accessible for the poorest. There's still missing people. There's children who are still hospitalized. It doesn't say that martial law has fully addressed basic human life dignity issues. So importante po is LGU executes, national government executes via DSWD, DOH. You don't need a martial law ruling. Hindi ka araw-araw may martial law. Importante, meron kang execution.
Paano po ba nagiging prone to abuses kapag na-impose ang martial law?
Well, for instance, that lady in Pagadian area that was interrogated whole day because she was carrying a dextrose. And then for past 2 weeks, may nakakuha pa rin akong PMs na, ma'am, I'm arrested because I'm suspected of being a maute. I mean, you have that kind of environment na nakadamit ka ba ng iba, nakaputi ka at nakaganito ka, kagaya ko, meron ka ng kakapkapan ka, and you can be... And yung bahay mo pwedeng pasukan basta-basta because that was the experience there. And of course, we honor and respect all the armed forces of the Philippines. But after my July 22, wala man lang kayong acknowledgement sa aking sinabi. Wala man lang kayong sinabi, Samira, hindi yan totoo. We are emailing you a full account and a report. And I'm sure the Supreme Court would also want to hear that the constitutional primacy is always premium on human life and dignity. You're going to have freedom of expression pa rin. And right now, even leaderships are not exercising full freedom of expression kasi nga, everybody wants to toe the line. And towing the line is not the safest and most democratic way of ventilating the freedom of people to say something. You've killed a society of talking people. That's not the Filipino we should be.
Ma'am, I've been attending some of the events of the opposition coalition, and you have been mentioning about how you almost lost your 3-year-old son because of the war in Marawi. Ano po bang nangyari, ma'am? What is your personal experience during the Marawi siege?
Yes, Mara, I'm not a BBL quitter. I was a commissioner appointed by the president. I did my job. I attended 3 months full-scale sessions. I think I had the most number of interventions. The logbooks would bear me out. And my son was there, and that was the moment I had to make a decision. Save the life of my son and my family. My mom was there. So doon sila, and hindi man lang ako tinanong man lang ng executive department, Miss Samira, an appointee of the president, kumusta? Gagawin ba natin ang martial law? Hindi. I mean, kahit man lang naman tinimbrehan tayo ng konti, I'm a servant of the country and the president at that moment in time. And yet, hindi man lang tinanong tayo, and I'm the one from Marawi among the 21 appointees of the president. Ako yung taga Marawi, so I should have been consulted. This is not to gripe, this is not to sour grape, but this is to say that when you implement something and you're a partner of government, we should be real partners. And I'm drafting for the country a law that would end violence. Diba?